All right, so this is where my style is going to differ from some of you guys. Clearly, this is not going to be great for like Tierney or Nick, for shorter guys. You know what I mean? Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why my process is gonna differ slightly from yours. So right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look under this thing. I wanna look to see if there's leaks, if there's belts that need to be done. I'm gonna look at my belts, right? Take a quick look at my belts. This one's glazed to shit. This other one seems to be okay. I'm looking everywhere. I'm looking at my ball joints. Those are ripped, right? I'm looking to see if my bushings in here are okay. I'm looking here, I'm looking here. This rack is pissing fluid, right? This rack and pinion is seriously leaking fluid, so I'm gonna recommend replacing this, right? I'm gonna check these axles. I've got new urethane bushings for my sway bar end links, right? I'm checking here. I'm looking at my bushings in here, right? I'm just looking at all my bushings. I'm kind of just, and if you notice, I'm going kind of quick. It doesn't need to be fucking 30 minutes worth of checking this fucking thing out before I start my alignment. Look, I've checked a lot of this out. I'm looking for seals to be leaking. I'm looking for anything wrong. Now, my job right now is this thing, we're gonna say this thing came in for an alignment. That's what it came in for. So am I gonna spend a ton of time diagnosing anything wrong with the track? No, you can give it a quick visual.
And those aren't replaceable?
On this one, I do not think that the ball joints come out of the
So you
control
have to
arm.
do the whole control arm.
Yeah, but these are cheap enough. I promise these are under $100 a side.
So some of them are like you can.
And we usually go with whatever's more cost effective to the customer. 'Cause what do I care?
Yeah, you're gonna get.
I'm gonna get paid either way, whether I take more time to get more pay to do that, or just to knock it out quicker so I can pull in another car by just fixing it, you know what I mean? It's 6 or 1/2 a dozen for me. I'm checking, as I'm walking by too, I'm taking a look at the tires. See if there's any big dents in the rim, any gouges taken out, just to see if there's, curb checking. Dude, it doesn't take a whole lot of curb checking to fucking bend something, you know what I mean? So now I'm looking, I'm gonna take a look back here real quick. I note that this airbag is smooth blowed the fuck out, right? No, he's absolutely right. On some vehicles, since you work at Ford, a lot of the Lincolns, the older Lincolns that had airbags, there's a switch in the trunk. You have to turn the airbag system off before you lift it up. Because when you lift it up, it'll fill that thing full of air. Those airbags full of air. And when you bring them down, they pop. And you're on the hook for that, right? Usually what you do is you get a pry bar or a bar, and you're gonna put pressure on the ball joints and stuff like that, so you make sure nothing's moving real good. Oh yeah, I'm gonna lower it back down. Watch out, everybody clear? Yeah. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come down until the bottom of this tire is about knee high to me. That's gonna be my sweet spot. Like I said, I tend to start everything at this driver's rear, right? Fucking efficient on a vehicle when you're doing alignment is you got to leave them in neutral. So what does that mean? The key stays on. I don't want to drain the battery necessarily, you know what I mean? Now some of the older cars that have kind of weak batteries, you want to kind of be on it. Turn the key off if you need to or whatnot.
Like a El Camino that took 3 days?
Dude, it took me 3 hours, easy. Did you see where I got it to though?
I saw it.
Okay. So I'm going to look at the tire placard. I'm going to see that this came with 20-inch wheels. I'm going to select the appropriate. This is a medium duty. All right, come here, guys.
Those are the specs.
All right, what I want you guys to notice is we're looking at these specs. I'm over here because I want to be out of the camera view. But look at my caster. Which side's higher? Which way does caster pull? To the side with the least amount of caster. So what's going on here?
Yeah, to less.
Pulling your passenger side.
2.15.
It's trying to pull to the. I got less caster in the passenger side. Why? If I'm trying to adjust for road, no. Which way does the road crown go?
You got to be pointing the driver's side.
The green's the color?
Yeah, I would want to be down. So why do I have less caster this way?
Shit's fucked up.
No,
No, which way's your road crown?
crown would be on this side.
Yeah. So which side do we drive on?
Compensate for
So
road
think about
crowning.
that.
Compensate for road crowning.
Yeah. So why am I looking like that?
Keep your common road.
It's they know that this has airbags and that the side is probably going to flex enough with you in it to change that number
Oh, it's to compensate for the
got you.
passenger, for the driver.
for the occupant.
Right at you.
I know.
Hey, get up.
I'm a big ass driver.
Why you-
Right? And now I can see. I can't see the screen. I can't see that screen, but I can see my camera. I have a red arrow pointing forward, so I'm going to grab the tire. I'm going to roll this thing forward.
Whoa.
Stop. I can see it tell me I went too far. I'm coming back. So all four. That's where this thing wants me to stop. So
I see.
I'm gonna let it go because this thing notices you shaking or trying to hold it. Okay. Now it says to go backwards. I'm trying to hold it, keep it from moving. Bing, bing. We're gonna go forward again.
No.
And now, as I start to get forward, I'm going to start to. Alright? The battery in this truck's dead, but what I usually do is I start the vehicle up, so I get the extra boost, and I'm going to use that. But this right here, is going to be okay, because I'm going to use my foot. Stick my foot under there. For those of you guys that do not know how this thing works, this piece goes up against the pedal. And then I start pulling this out till it hits the seat. And then it locks itself into place. See plenty of people fucking that up, just saying. Now I'm gonna grab the middle portion of this thing. I'm gonna bounce the suspension. Always wanna bounce the suspension. Alright? Where we go next? Alright, you guys please stay out of the camera.
Now you gotta do the steering.
So again, I have my, if I can't see the screen, I have my head. When all four light up, that tells me to stop. So, right now I have the option to go the other way, just for a caster swing, or I can come all the way this way and it's gonna measure what? Close.
No, your turn radius.
Turn radius, or toe out and turn. So we're gonna go ahead and just go the extra mile. Just so I can demonstrate this for you. Now I'm gonna hold the steering wheel as low as solid as I can, obviously.
19 degrees.
Right?
So then,
He's great.
sometimes it takes a little bit to catch up, so you gotta make small adjustments when you get there. Alright, so when I go back to center, I wanna make small little adjustments once it starts moving. Okay, now I hop out of the way, because it needs to see the rear camera. But which one moved? No. This thing's just kinda fucked up. At this point, I would then again start the car and use the power steering to help me center this wheel. But if you look, I got this much slop. You know what I mean? What I want to do is I want to shake it like that, give it a wiggle, and have it straighten itself out. You know what I mean? That's how I get all the, that's how I know it's going to be zero. Because if I kind of just, and then put it at zero, that may not be zero. You know what I mean? So I'm going to give it a little wiggle and it goes back down to zero. Whoever did this last would have had the steering wheel off probably, or in a different spot than I do. But let's take a look at this. What do we see? So I see my caster's actually really close.
Your caster was to the outside of the caster.
Yeah. So I can tell those are my caster because of the depiction of I have a wheel from the side and I see where the strut is, right? So that tells me that's caster on the outside. The inside one is my camber. Now the inside ones are both green, but would I want to leave that there trying to do an alignment for this? No. Because it's going to pull out, but it also is going to swing the If I'm just pulling the one, it's gonna move, see where it's gonna go with the ball joint? So to do just camber, I'm gonna have to move both at the same time. Now that's actually fairly tricky. It's a lot easier than it sounds. Or a lot tougher than it sounds. Look at he's moving everything and then I let go. See, I barely touched it, you know what I mean? Suspension is free for you to move about, right? No. But I'm going to do something a little different because I want to see.
From the lower arm? Because your camera's gonna come off the top arm?
No, I'm going from the bottom of the shock. Why? Why would I go from the bottom of the shock on this one?
That's a pivot point, right? It's pushing this.
Because the spring holds the weight of the vehicle, right? So I'm going to the bottom of the shock. This is a strut. The spring's going to hold the weight of the vehicle, so I may not change a whole lot of angle. So I'm going to make my adjustment, but I have to be real careful while making my adjustment. A, not to turn the wheels, and B, not to hit this thing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get one of you guys to kindly roll one of those tire and wheel assemblies over here and lay it down for a stool. Okay, get this stuff on. Loosen it from the nut end and not the bolt head end. Just a little heads up. And you don't have to go so loose that it just falls. Right? I just want to get it loose enough to where when I adjust it, it stays where it's at.
So the bolt on that place is going to actually turn it out or in, right?
Yes, absolutely. That's my actual adjustment. Don't try to. I just see people do that the wrong way all the time. I'm just trying to give a heads up for that. So I'm just all right. There, it's loose enough. I'm probably going to be able to get it. I have to use a big tool, but I'm going to be able to do it. I'm going to do the same over here. Goddamn, what gorilla tightened this morning? Just kidding. I know what gorilla did it.
It was the girl.
Yeah, it was Mary May. Jesus Christ. Why did I do that? Make my adjustment. And watch that's going to come up.
But his thing went negative, so he pulled it in. Or positive.
My thing is I can't go too far. This thing's pretty close, but you got to sometimes use some Kentucky windage and kind of see which way it's going to flop. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about, at least. You know what I mean? Hold this nut because I don't want it to move.
You gotta hold the nut. The bolt. You're gonna hold the bolt.
I'm gonna hold the bolt and play with my nuts. Really, this is my biggest concern right here. Is this number right here? Since I set up the caster,
You wanna be within 0.5 or whatever.
right? I set up my caster right where I want it to be. But this one, my cross caster, is really what I'm after. You know what I mean? My camber, and even though camber pulls which way?
Oh, camber, positive.
Camber pulls the more positive side. Which way? The side's more positive.
Driver's side, left.
Which way's the road crown go? So if I'm, see where I'm at?
Yeah.
I'm always trying. About good there. So now all I gotta do is my toe. Did you see how much when I was making these adjustments?
Yeah, how that was
my
moving?
toe was over here. My toe was smooth way over here. Now I'm toed in. Yeah, right? Yeah, I can't do that. You gotta do if your cross camber's way off, that's the way it's gonna pull.
Yeah.
Okay? This is what we're looking for. So now all I do is I'm gonna set my toe, and we're gonna get after it. So who wants to set the toe? It's on there. There you go. All right, now that you've done that, you should see a hex head section about here. Dead nut center for this is 0.05 in the positive. So is that in or out? In. Positive toe in. Toe in. Negative toe out.
Whoa! I got that one.
What?
When he adjusted that one and pulled this one out.
Why did what? No, what? He adjusted this one out, and it pushed this one out. What happened?
They pushed the tie rod, the whole tie rod on.
Pushed the
The linkage.
rack and pinion.
Rack and pinion, there you go.
So there's a little slop in the rack and pinion, yeah?
I got you.
Hey, so let's go. What do we do now? Now's the finish work. We're doing good. Those are tightened down, yes? I'm gonna double check and make sure everything's snug down. What do we do? I could caster swing it again if I made a bunch of adjustment. I didn't make a whole lot of adjustment over here, right? So what I'm going to do is test drive it. Test drive it. So what I'm gonna do
You're gonna go with the
is I'm gonna go ahead and hit the home screen right now. Now I would back the truck off, take the heads off, go for a test drive, rah, rah, rah. When I come back, if I need to make adjustments again, and I click on the alignment wizard, I'm gonna go to continue alignment. So I'll put the heads back on it, it'll take me back to where I was.
Cool.
Okay, so with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and go to continue alignment. Right? We're pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Pretty damn close. Be in a second time.
You went the wrong way. Because your cabinet didn't pull it in on.
All the green adjustments are where I'm at, right? And if it's colored, that means it has an adjustment. If it's gray, it means
Doesn't have one.
doesn't have an adjustment, right? So the SAI, I can't really change that. My included angle is what it is because I can change, the included
you
angle
can
will
change it.
change when I change my camber,
Yeah.
but I can't change the included angle. Do you get what I'm driving at? All right,
Because
so
it
then
can't do
my
nothing with the SAI.
Yeah, my toe out on turns I didn't really check, right? My difference though is about 1.3 degrees, right? Max turns I don't get, I got 0.18%, pretty close. Then rear camber and caster, I can't really do nothing to that. If you notice, my rear camber's still set in just a little bit. Even on the axle, it's still set in, so I'm gonna have some for handling. Then, what I'm gonna get when I click next, this is what you're gonna present to the customer.
A dummy screen.
The dummy screen. That's exactly what I call it. Why? Because if you notice,
Everything's zero.
when it's green, everything, the line's dead nuts in the center. Why is that?
So that they don't take
Just so the customer doesn't bitch about it having a funky alignment. It used to give actual readings and the customer would be like, why is this one here and this one's over here? Why aren't they exactly the same? And you're like, oh my God, here we go. You know what I mean? So they fix that for us. They make it kind of a dummy screen. But it does show where we were to begin with and then where we are now. Okay? So my toe was out on this one. My caster changed on this side. My caster changed a little on this side. But still pretty close to where we were.